We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. It is definitely Friday, April 2nd. I'm Tori here with Lindsay and Brandon. How's your Friday going?
It feels like a Friday.
Feels like a Friday. It's good to see you all.
Always great being up here with you.
Oh, that's so nice.
Oh,
all right, well, let's get straight to the Derek Chauvin trial. We are covering that for you. There was some really incredible testimony yesterday in the trial of former police officer Derek Chauvin. First up, George Floyd's girlfriend, Courtney Ross, was the first person to testify in the trial who actually knew Floyd. She also talked about their struggle with opioid addiction. Take a look.
We both suffered from chronic pain after prescriptions that were filled, and we got addicted and tried really hard to break that addiction.
Another person to testify yesterday was Derek Chauvin's former supervisor. This is important. The sergeant, who has since retired, told jurors that officers could have stopped restraining George Floyd much sooner than they did. Take a look at this.
Do you have an opinion as to when the restraint of Mr. Floyd should have ended in this encounter?
Yes.
What is it?
when Mr. Floyd was no longer offering up any resistance to the officers, they could have ended the restraint.
And that was after he was handcuffed and on the ground and no longer resisting.
Correct.
That is enormous in this trial. Now, a lot of people are saying this testimony is very damaging to Derek Chauvin to have his superior saying he did not follow proper protocol. Usually, other police officers back each other up. It's what some call the blue wall. But here, it's coming down. Thoughts, Linz?
I mean, I'm happy to see that the police officer is telling the truth. I think that's his job. And the biggest issue has been the protecting and serving portion that in my mind was missing from all these officers that were on the scene that day. And as far as the opioids and maybe what George Floyd had in his system, I just want to compare it and make an easy comparison. If we look at coronavirus, 500,000 plus people have already died from the disease, and their birth certificate, their death certificates say they died of COVID. Many of those people have pre-existing conditions, but we're not writing on there that they didn't die from COVID. So if you want to make the analogy really simple, George Floyd was killed. He was murdered by Derek Chauvin. It's just that simple. That should be on his death certificate. It's not about anything else that was in the system. If the knee wasn't on his neck, the man would be alive.
Well said, Brandon.
Yeah, I want to go even deeper than that, Lindsay, because when you say that, people... I'm trying to get my train of thought here, because watching that yesterday, watching the girlfriend talk about how they were trying to get off of it and how they even met each other at the Salvation Army, and you just realize, okay, yes, he had opioids in his system. Yes, that was an addiction that he was fighting. But we also talk about the mass shooters. They had mental illness, and they were still taken in and brought into custody without dying. And to go back to the police officer crossing over that blue line, we don't get to hear that defense of he was doing what he was trained to do. Because now by that police officer coming out for it, that gives us some sort of confidence that we just may see some justice when it comes to this trial.
Yeah, what's so interesting is what you say is, like, legally, what that a lot of stuff has been heartbreaking, but what the supervisor said is the meat that the jurors can put their teeth into to say this is illegal because he didn't follow protocol. All of the other stuff, you can, you see reasonable, there's things you worry about that they'll get off. This was so cut and clear that he disobeyed protocol. It's extremely important testimony. Extremely.
I don't know why I just got so jittery just now. Like, I've been following this case, watching it, and it's just heartbreak after heartbreak.
Every day I get here and the comments roll in, they're always like, here, now we have to go through this. It's heartbreaking.
And I think we're watching it, and to be honest and transparent, I was talking to my therapist yesterday, and it's like, I was just like, I don't know how you go up here and do this every day and talk about this. I don't know how we live and move forward if we don't get a verdict that is some type of calmness for his family that just lost their family member. And if that doesn't happen, which is usually the case, that doesn't happen, she just mentioned that there are so many people over the course of history that have had even bigger situations, dealt with more death of black people, dealt with more of this, and have continued to fight and push. And so I just want to tell everybody that's feeling let down like Brandon and feeling like they can't move forward, we got to keep pushing no matter what the verdict is in this trial, because if it really doesn't go the way we want it to, there's even more work for us to do and for everybody to do.
That is very well said.
Thanks,
let us know what you guys think. Well, a big NBA star is coming under fire for comments he made about the gender pay gap in basketball. This is Golden State Warrior player Draymond Green. People do know him. He's well known. I think he's a Subway commercial out. At a recent press event, he said he's really tired of seeing female athletes complain about the lack of equal pay. He went on to say, quote, they're not laying out steps that they can take to change the pay disparity, so it's, quote, coming off as a complaint. Just a quick note about the pay disparity. According to NBC Sports, the average WNBA salary is less than $100,000, while the average NBA salary is more than $7 million. Green's comments have lit up the internet. One person tweeting, Draymond isn't wrong. How y'all gonna get paid more when you're not drawing NBA level revenue? It's just empty complaining. Put in the advertising and get eyeballs watching. Well, another tweeted, I appreciated Draymond's candor and willingness to express his opinions, but he's just wrong here, and wrong in a way that's potentially damaging to WNBA players and other female athletes. So what did you make of Green's comments, and is he right? Are these female athletes just complaining? Again, that's a quote, not me. Brandon, former NFL athlete.
I think we need to take away the whole beef that's going on between the female players and the male players, because we need to come together as one on this. Now, the whole spotlight needs to go on the companies and the casual fans. Those are the people I'm calling out because they're using this feminism as this marketing strategy. But I liken this to the whole gun control debate that we have going on. What do we have? We have some sort of tragedy. We have some sort of injustice that happens. Then we have the outrage. And then we have some awareness, but then it goes back to no one even caring anymore. So what I think Draymond is saying that these women athletes need to do something drastic with their action, forcing the hand of the companies and your casual fan, because everyone who put out on their social media, oh, look at the discrepancy or the disparity in the weight rooms, couldn't even name half the women teams in the NCAA March Madness tournament. And how else do the women bring in the money? By getting fans to watch, by buying jerseys and help bringing up that revenue.
And you're trying to
the fake fans is part of the problem here.
Okay, what you're saying is strategy on Draymond Green's part. My question is it the women's responsibility to get the advertising eyeballs? Because that seems to have a job in itself called a PR firm.
No, it's the companies. You see, I mean, Nike, they'll come out and they'll come out with so
why isn't Draymond Green addressing Nike?
He was asked a question, but he was.
Why was he talking to the women? Is what I'm saying.
Because a woman asked him a question.
No, he said the women were complaining. Sorry,
it looks like it's a complaint unless there's some sort of drastic.
I know, but
action.
Draymond Green didn't just come into an NBA where there was absolutely no advertising and then all of a sudden get propelled on this pedestal. Like, we have years and decades of propelling these men up to a certain level. So now it's easy for them to get these Nike deals when women are always second. We're second rating them. We're not thinking about them. We think about them last when it comes to the deals. And so that's why their salaries to look at $100,000 is ridiculous. Like, obviously they don't have the same support as the NBA.
So that's what I'm saying. It's for the fans. There's a reason why WNBA basketball players, a lot of them get paid more overseas than they do here in America.
So why did Draymond Green, Brandon, speak to the women and not to Nike and to Puma? Is that one? And Adidas? Like, why did they speak to the actual companies and not say, women, you're complaining, which, let me just add, has a historical context. Complaining women has a label. Am I right? That comes from a long line of that. That means something, right?
He was asked a question, and I can guarantee, because he plays on the team with Steph Curry, we know what Steph Curry has done when it comes to championing for women's sports and equity and equality. He knows LeBron James. He can call up LeBron James. I'm thinking he's saying, force these companies and these fans' hands. We have your back, just in case we have to put up financially if you all strike or do something drastic.
Maybe he should
That's all I was saying.
Maybe he should be careful of who he addresses in that.
And how.
And
right? The message, yes.
Right. Maybe LeBron, Steph, give him back a call. All right, coming up on DBL, Jeff catches up with actor Corbin Bernsen. Oh, man, I love Major League. From his start on LA Law to working with a screen legend, he's telling us all about it and chatting with the stars. And Demi Lovato is dancing with the devil while she's literally recreating her nearly fatal overdose in her new music video.
Hey, y'all.
You see Brianna? Look at the Jeff.
Hey.
By the way, Jeff Bottom left over there. I thought I saw him on the street, so I waved. It was not him.
That's pretty funny.
Didn't know who I was. Tuning in from home during the pandemic. Big wave, too.
It's like we're playing a game of DBL squares.
It's true. It's so true. All right, this is out today, and everyone's talking about it, so we are too. Demi Lovato released a new video for her song Dancing with the Devil, and it recreates the night of her 2018 drug overdose. It's very literal. Take a look.
I was dancing with the devil, out of control. Almost made it to heaven. It was closer than you know.
So last month, Demi released a documentary by the same name where she revealed that she had been smoking heroin, smoking crack, with a combination of other hard drugs that night. During an interview with CBS Sunday Morning, Demi said she is now, quote, California sober, meaning she still drinks and smokes marijuana. It's not a medical term, but California sober usually means you avoid all hard drugs except psychedelics like LSD and marijuana, and you don't drink. That's usually what a California sober means. It's also not, again, a technical term. What do you think about art recreating life? Maybe cathartic for her?
Yeah, I think with her artistry, she should be allowed the free reign to tell her story in whatever way. We talked about that with Britney Spears this week, about how she has never been telling her story, other people have. So no matter what, somebody was going to tell the story if it wasn't her. But I do think that, you know, it's a slippery slope with her saying she's California sober.
I know.
I watched her on Joe Rogan's podcast, which, you know, is a little bit longer than the interview we were just talking about. And she really went into detail about, you know, I'm okay. A lot of people are California sober, and, you know, I smoke a little bit of weed. And I
drink in moderation.
Well, she didn't let Joe Rogan know that. So I'm kind of like, I was listening to this like drinking too, because it just seems like each interview, that was weeks before. So now she's just like adding things. And I'm like, you know, to put your life almost in danger once, and I know addiction is tough, but to be that close to death and then risk anything, to me, is just like frivolous.
It's kind of a slap in the face to your support system as well, because you weren't the only one dancing with the devil that night. The people who have been there for you, your family, your loved ones, your fans. So to say that and to go back and to say like you're still kind of dabbing or putting your toe in the water when it comes to these drugs and this sort of things, I look at that as a slap in the face, Tori.
Well, it's interesting. California sober is like a new kind of term, but I do think when most addicts or you talk to recovering addicts say sober, they mean nothing at all, and that's highly important. Remember, she also got engaged really early last year when she was like just coming out of recovery. So a lot of decisions sort of impulsive or seem a bit impulsive. Let us know what you think. I like the art and life video,
for sure.
But I'm not sure about the California sober. All right, we'll be right back. Welcome back to DBL. Corbin Bernsen got his big break on LA Law 35 years ago. Feeling old? Now he's starring in a new movie with the late Cloris Leachman. He spoke with Jeff earlier in today's Chatting with the Stars.
Corbin, thank you so much for joining us here on DBL. Now, it's been 35 years since the debut of LA Law, and so many stars were on that show. Susan Day, Harry Hamlin, Blair Underwood, Jimmy Smits. How did that show and experience overall change your life?
Well, it gave me a career. It gave me a life. Every actor wants that one gig that is the launch pad. And I think it certainly was for me. And the unique thing about LA Law was that it was for so many of us. It was, it was the launch pad, man. It was a rocket.
Yeah, so your character, Arnie Becker, he was a bit of a womanizer, Corbin, on that show.
Don't tell me that under that lawyerly suit, you're really a romantic.
Well, if by that you mean I believe every woman has one special light in her eye that can only be seen by one special man, then I'm guilty as charged.
Do you see that character coming alive again on screen in today's day and age?
Well, I think I can say this because it was announced in Deadline. They are working on putting together a new LA Law. I'm not sure what my part in it will be or any of that, but there is something out there. But it does make me think about my character in today's time. He certainly was a womanizer, but I think it'd be interesting to see how he has to reconcile his past and how he lives today.
And Corbin, I got to touch on your mother, the late Jean Cooper. She was a television icon herself. She played your mom on LA Law, which was so cool, but was best known for playing Catherine Chancellor on The Young and the Restless, of course.
You're like a glacier. Yes, like the dinosaur I am. You deal with it.
What was the best advice she gave you about acting or just in general?
The best thing she ever gave me was the very, very first thing when I said, I want to be an actor. She said, well, if you got my blessing, but you don't have it if you're going to do it for the money or the women or the fame or all these other things. You got to do it. I'm an actor, she said. I'm an actor. I've studied. And if you want to go into my job, my field, you've got to study and train. And you'll figure out why later. But you've got to do that. Don't do it for all the wrong reasons.
That is great advice. And speaking of icons, you worked with another icon, the late Cloris Leachman, on your TV movie called When We Last Spoke.
This is the most ill-stocked kitchen I've ever seen. I never get a meal on the table.
What was she like on set, Corbin?
Yeah, she was wonderful. She reminded me of my mother. She's one of those actors who, certainly at that point in her life, you wind her up and you put her in a direction, you give her some semblance of a script, and you just say, go, because whatever's going to come out is going to be fascinating.
That's amazing. And Melissa Gilbert plays your wife in the film. And I heard you guys never worked together despite your long careers in television. What was that experience like finally getting to work together?
She was magic. She was wonderful. It's one of those, this entire movie, and including her specifically, you don't know when they're going to happen, and you just slip into it. It just falls. Everything falls in place. Everything works. And there's no forcing anything into any corner, trying to make it work, trying to manipulate it this way or that. And she and I slipped into it's a shame because I often thought, well, I could do this for 8 years of the series with her.
That would be amazing, right? Corbin, man, I appreciate it.
Well, I'll give you some tips on skiing next time you're in Denver.
You got it, man. Anytime you want. Thank you so much, Corbin. And you can catch...
Stay off the ice.
That's right. That's right. You can catch Corbin Bernsen in When We Last Spoke this Sunday on Up TV. Corbin, it was a real pleasure, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be back, everybody.
Sitting down all day. I bet it's not good because I do it. We're chatting about it in DBL's Focus on Fitness presented by QB. So here's what experts say can happen over time if you sit too much and don't make time for a break or exercise. First up, low energy levels are attributed to sitting for too long, which can lead to increased anxiety. Poor posture. Sitting for long periods of time causes more stress on your back over time. And third, you are less likely to burn calories, which can lead to weight gain. So staying inactive is so important, and QB has made it easy. QB is changing the way the world thinks about fitness, regardless of physical ability or age. Try their under-desk elliptical at home. Call 1-800-730-3397 or visit QB.com to learn more. I do need to get up and walk.
I have terrible posture.
I have terrible.
I'm always like hunchback.
I'm always like this. Yeah. I just wanted to talk a little bit about due process and knowing that Derek Chauvin gets to have his day in court, which is, I hold that very dear to me for constitutional reasons. But the fact that like it was so well documented also that like, shouldn't he just be guilty? A lot of people are dealing with like, what if he doesn't get convicted and why and what that means? What do you guys think if he doesn't? Do you think it'll be...
And I think we're just taking it day by day, but the next step is when the defense starts to plead their case. And I think that's when people are really going to get upset. And then we have the verdict. So we have a long way to go. And we're just, I think Brandon and I and everybody, you two, are just hopeful that it doesn't go the way that we saw the Rodney King incident go, how we've seen things go with Tamir Rice with no charges at all. We're just hoping for a better outcome this time.
Amen. Let us know what you guys think. It's a complicated sort of idea psychologically, philosophically, but we want to know what you think. Just a quick note to everyone who celebrates. We hope everyone has a happy, healthy, and fun-filled Easter weekend.
That's so cute.
Please stay safe, enjoy yourself. What's a cute little bunny? Aw, and goodbye, of course, to our coworkers at home today. We are new every single day. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place. Stay safe, you guys.